Hmm. Well, it's Friday. I hope that wherever you are, you're well. Um, just wanted to jump on here. Let me see if I got this volume. Okay, the volume's up. How you doing? How was your week? It's I would say partly cloudy here, in Virginia Beach. The weather it's been acting kind of weird. Um, Mid 60s, high 70s. Even though on this weekend it's gonna drop right back down to 40. Go figure, right? So you gotta be responsible with because you know there are gonna be some people that are gonna unfortunately test their immune system because they're not gonna prepare themselves or prepare their day. Been seeing it already since Tuesday. People running around thinking it's summertime. No, we are still in winter. But what it is. I got up yesterday. I had all these little acorn. Well, they're not little acorns. Matter of fact, let me show it to you real quick. See those little things right there? Well, my front yard was just filled with them, and they kind of have a spur-like effect that if you step on it, it will lock in. You gotta bear with me too. I gotta throw the disclaimer out because we got the jets flying by. They've been doing their runs all morning. But the reason I'm putting this out today, this is for validation for somebody in a town near you, in a city near you, in a state near you. But I'm talking to you. What's going on right now? For some, it's tax season. Yeah, you know it's tax season, and you've already made a mental note of what you want to do with your return. I just want to throw this out to the attendant heart and mind that you take care of your finances first. Get that shadow off your back, and then whatever is done, then you reward yourself with it because that is what is going to set up the tone of your financial heartbeat the remaining part of the year. So, for some of y'all, you know my backstory in regards to my taxes. Yeah, I was ignorant when it came to being responsible, and in turn, um, I ended up having to pay almost $10,000 in back tax. Yeah, 10 grand, and I set up an allotment, paid over the amount. It took me about a year to pay it off, and thank goodness it was completed by December. But the point is, there was plenty of things I could have done with that money. There was many times, many reminders. I ain't got to tell you how many times there was something that was an opportunity that came up. You said, you know what? If I had the means, I would have it. And you felt a certain kind of way about it because you knew rightfully that was yours to have. But then what what I got out of that whole experience? The importance of staying the course. Yeah, because it's all a test, family. It's a test to see how committed you are to yourself. I mean, I don't have to tell you. I don't have to beat the drum of telling you how priceless you are, how it's so important to invest in yourself. If anything, what about them dreams you got? What about those natural talents that you possess? What about all those things? Well, before you can go forward, you must first have a foundation. And to have that foundation, you got to turn around and survey not only where you've been, but why you're here. So, with that being said, I stayed the course. There were many times, family, that I was like, man, I'm tired of it. Some of y'all already know that, you know, I have a Jeep. Actually, this is my second one. And, you know, I still ride stock on mine, stock wheels. Only thing I just recently, uh, shoot, last month as a Christmas gift to myself, I upgraded my stereo, because I got tired of wearing the Bluetooth and I wanted to be able to communicate like everybody else. So I went on ahead and put a double din in there. I'm happy about that. I'm very, very happy about it. But good morning. But I knew that eventually I would have my tires, I would have the lift kit, because when I looked at my contract for my Jeep, I realized, because of staying committed to the responsibility, and there were times, those payments were kind of late, but never to the point of, over 30 days, and I got another validation because I pulled my contract and I realized I only have $6,500 left and my note is paid for. Why am I saying this? I'm not saying this out of being shallow. I'm saying that at a minimum, you must be responsible for yourself. You don't need permission. You need to invest in yourself. So if you haven't done your taxes, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Now, if it's a situation where um, you think you may owe, find out. You can go online. You can, a lot of the TurboTax, the IRS website, um, there are avenues that you can put your information in there and it'll let you know where you stand. It'll let you know. And then let's just say that you do owe. Let's just say you do. You know how you hear about all these programs and subsidies about, oh, we can repair your credit and we can do this and we can consolidate? Let me tell you something. Nothing is done for free. Did you hear me? Nothing. Call them. Call the IRS. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you call the IRS and you're going to get the automated option, be prepared that you're going to be on hold about 20, maybe 30 minutes. So if you got a smartphone, go through the prompts, put your phone on speaker, be mindful it's on speaker, and eventually an agent will come on there and talk to them. Don't sugarcoat it. Talk to them, and they'll work with you. They'll work. It don't matter if you owe 50,000, 100,000, whatever it is. Talk to them. They'll work with you. Now, at real talk, there's this misconception that your taxes will be forgiven. No, IRS don't get down like that. You're going to pay every dime that you owe. See, I got myself in a situation where originally my back taxes was $4,500. 45. And from my military days, what I would do is, if I knew I was going to get a refund, statute of limitations is 3 years. So as long as I knew that I was getting a refund, I would wait 3 years and then file it. And you're like, why would you wait to get your money? Because that is like an invisible savings account. You ain't spent it yet. It's just there. Well, just so happened one of those years, I ended up owing. Was I shocked? Yeah, I was shocked, but it was a reality. And what ended up happening, I ended up getting daily interest, and pretty much what that ended up doing was doubling my debt. My debt was like 90, it was a little bit under 10 grand. So I was feeling a certain kind of way because by hook or by crook, that was still 10 grand that was coming out of my pocket that I did not want to pay. But the IRS has a way of getting that money. They can garnish it. They can freeze your bank account. I mean, there's ways. We're talking about the federal government. Now, I'm just throwing that out for somebody because I got a feeling that somebody, you've had your W 2 for a minute. You actually got it early, but you're not, you don't feel secure about it. Who am I talking to? Go ahead and file your taxes. I'm not saying that as an ad for them. I'm saying for peace of mind for you. At a minimum, you'll know where you stand. You'll start that journey and you'll come through it. It took me about a year. And I'm going to get off of this real quick, but I had a feeling somebody, they plan that you're burning unnecessary time. You're starting to get paranoid about it because you're getting misinformation. So I'm putting this out there on top for you. This video is for you, amongst other things. Now, you gotta bear with me because guess what? I got it. I got it. That's for you. That's for you. See it? That's your message. Now, because the Most High makes a way when there is no way. Now, so I did it. Think of it. Think of your life like on gridlock for the drivers out there. You trying to get to your end goal, but no matter how much progression you do, there's always that person that want to pull right in front of you and slow you up. You know why they do that? They do that because they long for a reaction from you. That's why they do it. They see you in the rearview mirror. They see you coming. They see all that. And what do? They gingerly pull right in front of you. Why? Because they want you to feel just the way they are. Paranoid, insecure, angry, bitter. You can't eat off of resentment, right? You realize that? You can't live off of pain. But we all know people that are. We know that is denial too. So let me end my little tax spiel out for somebody. So what's the end goal with my taxes, y'all? I paid that 10 grand, and guess what? Because I allowed myself to get so wrapped up in my head, I didn't even realize that I had a return for 2017 just as well as I had a return for 2018. Why? Because I'm listening to the sidebar conversation instead of doing the research. I'm allowing my pride to manifest fear. And guess what happens? You become stagnant. You get frustrated because anybody knows that there's no more intense criticism than what is manifested from that beautiful mind of yours. Doesn't matter who's in your presence. You can break yourself down, make you feel a certain kind of way, unlike anybody else, because it's from you. So, please do your taxes. Get it out the way. Now, Let's just say you did. You're going to have to make a decision. This applies for those that may be expecting a return. You're going to have to make a decision. Yes, I know it's natural for us to want to reward ourselves and those things that we put to the side that um, we may have longed for. And pretty much like how it goes, we've already spent it before we've already gotten it. Do you want a quick reward or something more long standing? Which would you prefer? Quick or long standing? Now, quick, you can turn around and get what you want right off the bat, or pay your bills off. Pay those bills off. And guess what'll happen? Besides this jet flying over right now. Okay. If you pay your stuff off, if you have a little restraint and pay the things that, say you may have some credit cards or some outstanding debt, pay it. Get it off of you. You know what's going to happen? You're going to save money off of finance charges, interest rates, until you do. Because you do also understand, for those who got credit cards, that until that debt is paid, you're compounding interest. So that's money that will have to go, that's coming out of your pocket or purse until the debt is paid off. So pay your bill off. Pay it. And guess what? On the backside, that's going to free up money to do whatever you want, how you want, when you want. Now, keep in mind, you're going to have some people out here that already have written you off. And they already said, well, you know what? I know that Johnny got that tax return coming. And let me throw this out there too, because you'll start to notice people will start to be a little nice. You'll probably start to hear from people you ain't heard from in a minute. Why? Because you got something that they want. Be leery of that. Be leery of that. But pardon me, Roy. I feel a sneeze coming. Give me a second, because I don't want to be on YouTube and snot nosing. All right. So if you do that, guess what? Inadvertently, you're paying yourself first. You're taking care of things that are unforeseen. You know, family, I want to show y'all something, because I'm looking and I got the clouds going right now in front of me, and where on one side it looks like a dragon or a demon, and to the right it looks like an angel. I'm going to show it to you real quick. Look to your right. It looks like a demon. And then if you look to the left, it looks like an angel, because you can see the wings. It's like a battle of duality right there. I don't know. I'm a Pisces. We see things that y'all can't see, you know. But it is what it is. Ain't nothing but validation, because that's what's going on, fam. You got a lot of people that are they're in a crossroads right now. They don't know if they should go left, should go right. They don't know if they need to stay still, or they need to look over their shoulder. Stop looking over your shoulder. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Stop doing that. You can't live your life through your past. But what you can do is be grateful that you woke up today and be the best you. That's for somebody. You know you love, right? You loved. Come on. You woke up today. That's the greatest form of love there is. And then if you want to be more detailed, that's because you still got unfinished business. What's what? Your legacy, your story. What have I always conveyed through the years? It's not their responsibility to tell your story. It is your responsibility to define it. So you gonna smile today? Hmm? You gonna love yourself more today? Or are you gonna worry about why you haven't heard from so and so? Huh? Come on now. I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, look here. Why are you worried about people that do not want the best you? Do not want to see you in your best light? Why are we giving so much support to those people? Why? It's because they are able to see what makes you feel insecure. You notice when you're confident, I'm not saying prideful, you're confident, you don't see those people. You know why you don't see those people? Because they can't figure you out. Also, it represents that the perspective that they had about you is not what it is. So, the last thing they want to do is have a changed perspective because they're basing everything about you from that low point. Now, you got a choice. You're going to keep living or you're going to keep towing the line. Because I'm not trying to sound mean, because some of y'all going to go through this. Some of y'all that are in relationships that are hanging by a thread, if it's already hanging by a thread now, what do you think it's going to be like after your return come home? Who am I talking to? You know, I'm just saying that because some of y'all, first of all, shout out to those who've been subscribing. Shout out to those who are part of the family who've been there. And shout out to those who will find this video in the intended time. But last year I put that video out about the ant and the grasshopper. Is it more clear now? Do you understand what I was trying to convey? And look at the sign of the times now. Now, I say that because there's still a choice. You still have a choice. I say you have a choice because of the fact that you're alive. So maybe this is the moment that you say, look, I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm going to take the road less traveled. For some of y'all that you've heard me say that is one of my favorite poems. It was written by Robert Frost. Actually, I was introduced to that poem by my mother. She had this literature book, and every now and then, she would read it. She would read it out, a couple times I would hear her read it out loud. And we had that poem in a picture frame hanging up um, in one of our houses. Well, when I was coming up, it was hanging on the wall, and I'd walk past that. I'd walk past that thing, that, and I would, I didn't care. I was a little kid. But then one day, when I was in a low point, when I felt unloved because I wasn't loving myself, those words spoke volume to me. And it clicked. I got it. I understood. To my kings, A man does not, manhood is not measured by what's found in your pocket, man. What's found between your legs. It is measured by your steps, by your self control, by your insight, which will make your wisdom. Queen, you know I love you, right? Bear with me. Okay. Why are you waiting on Jody? You know that's not your prince, right? Stop waiting on a little boy. Because I'm not saying this out of malice, but everybody has a story because everybody has a road. But everybody has to have their responsibility to travel on that road. And that road may have pitfalls, may have obstacles, may even have bridges to distance. But that road doesn't matter unless you're on it. You acknowledge it, you claim it. Now, I'm saying this, family, because still to this day you have people that lack sense of self. They're still measuring their potential not of their efforts but of social validation and acceptance. Did you hear me? Why? Because they're not comfortable in their own skin. Yeah, I mean, think about it. These are the most, these people always have the biggest voices, always got to do the extra, except for the things that matter most. They don't have no courage for that. But if it will generate a distraction, not a definition, because to have a definition, you must put effort to research it, to validate it, but you must claim it to be true. Speak your truth. So you may have saw the title, right? You saw my title, and that's what it all boils down to when you look at it. If you if you turn around and look at, if you were to compartmentalize life, isn't life based off of agreements, concessions, and even non-acceptance? So what about that contract that has your name on it? You know what makes that contract? Your natural gifts, your natural talents, your wisdom, and love. These are the linchpins that make your life, your story. Not who you know, what you possess, or where you've been. Ask the people that are connected to you by blood and bone that ain't here. You think they would give that up just to have another day? But then I'm talking too real to somebody, huh? I'm being too morbid. Nobody's promised tomorrow. And what is left? Your legacy, good or bad. I don't like saying bad, I'll say indifferent. Because it is about each one teach one. It is about being like minded. Because you always will hear people that will say, no, Gerald, like minded people attract like minded people. No, no, take that back. You will always hear people say, opposites attract. No, it's like minded people attract. Otherwise, why would you do it? Why? So it's Friday, family. You getting ready to step into your weekend. Please make it the best you can make it by first, no stress. Because you can't build nothing off of stress. Taking accountability and validating it with your insight. Don't worry about the people that ain't in your life right now. Stop worrying about that. Stop like mini Ripton. Mini my mouth is not working. Stop being like Minnie Ribbleton. You know, back down memory lane. Come on, man. Stop doing that. If it's meant, you'll see him again. You'll see him by choice or by lesson, because that's why they're in your life anyway, to help you grow and motivate you to the next level. So I don't want to be winded. I hope that you guys. I got a feeling somebody right now has already made the decision that you are going. You're focusing on enhancing your streams of income. That's not a bad thing, family. Because guess what? Everybody else is doing that. We're in the times of you can't put all your hopes in a basket. You've got to have other resources to sustain in case your primary does not. Who am I talking to? Think about it. Look at what was just showed not even a month ago. Shout out to our federal employees and those who were impacted by the shutdown. And guess what? Until everybody's able to sit down at the table and listen. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Peace to you too. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. As the months progress, one by one, you're going to see people's agendas. They're going to come out. I mean, I reside in Virginia. Y'all already know the story, the backstory about what's going on right now from the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general. Come on now. That's not by chance. That was intended. But guess what? You're going to reap what you sow too. Because I'm a firm believer. Had to jump back on here. Somebody must didn't like what I said. But I'll surmise it. The energy that's put out is the energy that will be returned because that is our lesson or our blessing. And the funny thing about it, figuratively, this ain't nothing new. They're just only there to be because no deed goes unpunished or blessed. So be mindful of that. For those who have not seen my videos, The Ant and the Grasshopper, at your leisure, check it out. You'll see a lot of synchronicity. You'll see a lot of nuances that are playing out right now because it has to. So, as you step into your weekend, be safe. If you're driving, please be ready. Which is funny because out there and they still speed. And I'm not saying that to sound hypocritical because I'm out there too, but I'm responsible. But then again, I'm a tactical driver too because I learned that from my military days. But just be safe and just remember wherever you go, whatever you have to do, make sure you leave the same way that you're expected to come back. Because you do have people that are directly and indirectly that want to see that smile because you're worth it. All right, y'all. I'd love to hear from you. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Just be you. Bye.